You could make the case that photography is the most ubiquitous art form in the world. Think about it. Everyone can participate in it, and everyone can interact with it. Photography enthusiasts will have plenty of chances to interact with the medium over the next few weeks as the Flash Photographic Festival gets underway in earnest. The festival features over 56 unique venues across Manitoba that range from Winnipeg art galleries to non-traditional venues in places like Flin Flon and Pinawa. It's the perfect way to celebrate the festival's 10th anniversary. Leif Norman, one of the organizers of the Flash Photographic Festival, joins us live in the Classic 107 studios today. Good morning.
Hello, hello.
So maybe you can take me back before we talk about the 10th anniversary celebrations and all of the amazing things that are happening. Maybe take us back to how you first became involved in the festival and its more humble beginnings.
Yes, we're very, very humble. Well, I used to live in Toronto, and they've got this fabulous photographic festival called Contact. And I was moving back to Winnipeg, and I was just thinking, well, why doesn't Winnipeg have something awesome like this? Because they had photography in restaurants and hotel lobbies and anywhere and everywhere for their big month of April. Sorry, May. They were in May. And so 10 years ago, it's 11, but don't tell anyone, Shh, it's a secret. And I said, well, let's do something like that here. So I called it Flash, and I ran it out of my apartment, and I ran it out of my own pocket.
Wow.
And for the first 4 or 5 years or so, and the uptake was incredible. Like, it was like I opened a door. What's the metaphor? Like the dam burst.
Yes.
I didn't realize there was such demand. And we were overwhelmed with there was, I think, the height. We called them BYOVs, by the way, bring your own venues. I kind of stole that from the Winnipeg Fringe Festival.
Yes.
I loved that
Very
idea.
Fun.
And so we had 50 or 60, I think it was 2017 or something. There was 50 or 60 different BYOVs just within Winnipeg, a little bit in Gimli. I think there was one in Brandon, but mostly it was in Winnipeg. And so anyway, it was the local photographers just jumped up and down and went crazy.
That's an incredible way to start from, this sort of DIY approach to everything. How have you seen the festival evolve over the years?
Well, it evolved in a funny way, in the way that I was getting sort of artistic burnout because I was just doing it all myself.
Sure.
And then COVID hit, and so that was 5 years ago. And I used I know, right? So weird. Was that 5 years ago?
Crazy.
I remember that March day when everyone just sort of said, go home.
Yep.
Everything got shut down.
Same here.
So we were poised right at that moment. In fact, there's still this Instagram post where I'm holding out the program like that. And get ready for it. Here it comes. And then the next day, everything got yanked. And so that I still have some of those programs, and that's the festival that never was. But thankfully, we got some government money and kept going. So I used that downtime to get a board together, to register not-for-profit, to get a separate bank account so it wasn't being run out of my own pocket. And we got all our ducks in a row. And 5 years later, now we're obviously still in Winnipeg, but like you said in your intro, we're all the way from Flin Flon and Winkler, and we've got 4 events, 4 venues in Brandon and Portage la Prairie, etc. So that's what's really new and exciting for me, is that it's not just stuck inside the perimeter.
I would imagine, now that you have expanded outside of the perimeter, that there's all of these exciting opportunities for artists from different locales, different photographers working in different types of photography to then be able to interact with different types of artwork. How does this festival, over its 11-year run, impact the artists that are featured within it? And I'm speaking because you are also one of these artists who contributes to the festival in such a huge way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always felt it was a bit funny. People say, well, why don't you have a venue? Why don't you do that? I figured it'd be a little bit sort of self-dealing. It would be kind of like you on your show. It's like, oh, well, I wrote this concerto, and I'm going to play it for you now. This is Nolan's concerto,
yes.
number 1.
Indeed.
So I want to stand back. I'm sort of the founder and executive director. So
sure.
We do have a big community group show at the Gas Station Art Center. So everyone's allowed to put up one photo, which is 12 by 12, which I really love because that's also the size of a vinyl record cover. So that's my own weird little in-joke. And so they're all up on a big grid. And so I only sort of engage with that. But that's sort of the, I guess, the entrance level for photographers is that if you don't feel brave enough to do your own show, I mean, you can just put one photo up and be safe, surrounded by all of your fellow photographers. But,
right.
Okay. Now I'm floundering. I forgot what your question was.
I was wondering. Well, when you have all these different artists that are showcasing at a place like the gas station and they're interacting with other artists, what is the impact of seeing different works on? What do you hear from artists about seeing everybody else's work and what they then take into their own artistic practice?
Well, they really just love it. It's like I said, we were talking before about sort of this dam just sort of bursting, is that they just love. They love seeing their own stuff up on the wall. They're just pleased as punch. I mean, even if it's only in the 12 by 12 show, or they've gone, to Modern Coffee and set up a show, they're just so proud of themselves. And of course, we print them all. Everyone gets a full. This is good radio. Hey, I'm holding up the catalog,
for our
right?
YouTube audience.
Hey, there's the YouTube audience.
Get all the camera coverage.
That's right. And so they get a full page.
Wow.
Here's Timothy Brown at the Monroe Library at 489 London Street, for example, and they are pleased with themselves, and they like you said, they get to see what other people are doing, and it does kind of like stir them up a little bit to go, oh, maybe I could do photography in a different way. And a lot of people, their first ever photographic show has been through the Flash Photographic Festival, and so I'm very proud of that. People have come up to me and told me is that if this venue didn't exist, or venue's maybe not the right word, but sort of platform, like structure of, it kind of gives them permission. Is in a funny way,
Yeah.
It's like if there was another festival, like a harpsichord festival or something, then all these people would come out of the woodwork in Winnipeg going, oh, I love harpsichord.
True enough. Even as I flip through the Flash Photographic Festival book here, I see some of the artists that we've spoken to here on our airwaves in the last couple of weeks. Sarah Crawley and the work that she's done at the Martha Street Studios with her pinhole cameras, for instance. John Sasaki and I Contain Multitudes down at the U of M School of Art Gallery.
Yes.
It seems like there's a really democratic and a really easy access point for artists of all types to participate in the Flash Photographic Festival. How do you then, as the person running this show, go about saying where different artists are showcasing, who can all be involved? What then is the curatorial practice that you have to go through?
Well, yes. Okay. Well, there we go. See, because in the beginning, in the good old days of 2015, it was totally it was totally non-curated. Like everything was a BYOV. We didn't really have any special, I guess, higher up, this is in the fancy gallery show, right? It was utterly, completely socialistic. It was a complete flat landscape where everyone was treated completely equally. And I really liked that. I liked the fact that we didn't play any favorites, and there was no curators and there was no juries or anything like that. Although people kept talking to me, they would email me and go, oh, well, is this, can I put this photo in the show, or can I do this? And I would just have to say, well, yes, it's okay. It's up to you. Like you do it, They were sort of expecting there to be a gatekeeper, and there wasn't. We still operate in that way. But because we're taking Manitoba Arts Council money, we've actually successfully got some arts funding. Hooray. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Winnipeg Arts Council. Thank you, Manitoba Arts Council, for that. Yes, plug. And we had to sort of add an extra layer on top of the pyramid, everything sort of seems to be a pyramid. We got the big base that holds everything together, and then it gets a little narrower as you go up. And so we have to pay the CARFAC fees. We have to, there are curators, there are juries for these special shows. Like at the Mennonite Heritage Center Gallery right now, there is one of these big shows. And last night we just had our big gala opening. And so we have to pay the jurors, we have to pay the artists. And so it's a little stratified like that, but I'd like to think there's like an upwardly flowing conveyor belt.
Okay, I love the image of the conveyor belt on the pyramid that you have now constructed.
My metaphor.
You mentioned now these different sort of featured exhibitions, one of which taking place at the Mennonite Heritage Center Gallery called Divergence and Connection.
Yes.
I understand that there are 4 such featured exhibitions
Yes.
throughout the festival. Maybe we can give a quick elevator pitch on
Yes.
all of those as sort of the headlining acts, as it were.
Yes, these are our sort of our little gems. I'm mixing my metaphors again. Our gems in our caps, feathers in our caps.
We can put gems and caps. It's
So
fine.
put a gem in a cap.
Yeah.
226 Main Street Gallery, Brenda Stewart, Botanical Entanglements. Now say that 10 times. Botanical Entanglements is a show which is we're very proud of. She's doing cyanotypes. She's doing ferns and plant material on cyanotypes, which is sort of like a blueprint process.
Sure.
Very beautiful contact printing.
Yeah.
We also have La Maison des Artistes. There's a whole group show. I can't name everyone,
But
that is another featured exhibition down on Provencher. And then, like you already mentioned, the MHC Gallery, which is the Canadian Mennonite University location at 600 Shaftesbury. Huge show. This is really the crown jewel. This is where we had our big gala opening last night. It's an amazing group show curated by Leona Herzog, who is helping us greatly with that. And finally, we've got Urban Shaman Contemporary Indigenous Art with Marco Muller and Zach Ironstad doing really edgy, funky street photography. I love street art. I love street photography myself. When I was living in Toronto, I would kind of, be prowling around the western part of Queen Street and trying to, in the good old film days with my Pentax, taking pictures of stuff. So I love street art and I love street photography. So I'm glad that they're in. So
those are the 4 featured exhibitions in this year's Flash Photographic Festival. Maybe in our last minute or so here, you've clearly built this up to be something amazing that so many people can participate in. How do you think this festival looks 10 years from now?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'll be... I might burn out again. No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, what is big news, besides the fact that we've gone much bigger outside the perimeter, is that we're going to be doing this every second year now. It used to be annual, and everyone agreed on the board that we should sort of do a biennale, which is the fancy way of saying it, I suppose.
Indeed.
So every second year now, so it's going to be April 2027. For the future, I don't know. We're in such a good spot. I really like it. I really like the fact that we've got Lac de Bonnie and St. Andrews and Killarney and Boissevain all involved. I mean, I just want to keep encouraging that. I want to keep doing that for the future. And, more workshops like pinhole photography workshops. And I love alternative processes. Did you know you can develop black and white film with coffee?
No,
I know it's bizarre, but I want to do more workshops on things like that.
Fascinating stuff, which makes it all the more important to see the Flash Photographic Festival this year because it's not back until 2027, as
That's
they've just
right.
suggested. The festival already underway, running until April the 27th. There's more information at flashfest.net or on our website, classic107.com, and the Classic 107 app later on this morning. Leif Norman, thank you so much for joining us in the Classic 107 studios to talk about this amazing festival.